9, pages 220 to 229. He gulps it down. I fetch some more. Then I unbutton his tunic in order to bandage him, if it is possible. In any case, I must do it, so that if the fellows over there capture me, they will see that I wanted to help him, and so will not shoot me. He tries to resist, but his hand is too feeble. The shirt is stuck and will not come away. It is buttoned at the back, so there is nothing for it but to cut it open. I look for the knife and find it again. But when I begin to cut the shirt, the eyes open once more, and the cries in them again, and the demented expression, so that I must close them, press them shut, and whisper, "I want to help you, comrade. Comrade, comrade, comrade," easily repeating the word to make him understand. There are 3 stabs. My field dressing covers them. The blood runs out under it. I press it tighter. There, he groans. That is all I can do. Now we must wait. Wait. These hours, the gurgling starts again. But how slowly a man dies. For this I know, he cannot be saved. I have indeed tried to tell myself that he will be, but at noon his pretense breaks down and melts before his groans. If only I had not lost my revolver crawling about, I would shoot him, stab him I cannot. By noon I am groping on the outer limits of reason. Hunger devours me. I could almost weep for something to eat. I cannot struggle against it. Again and again I fetch water for the dying man and drink some myself. This is the first time I have killed with my hands whom I can see close at hand, whose death is my doing. Cat and Kropp and Mueller have experienced it already. When they have hit someone, it happens to many, in hand-to-hand fighting especially. But every gasp lays my heart bare. This dying man has time with him. He has an invisible dagger with which he stabs me. Time and my thoughts. I would give much if he would but stay alive. It is hard to lie here and to have to see and hear him. In the afternoon, about 3, he is dead. I breathe freely again, but only for a short time. Soon the silence is more unbearable than the groans. I wish the gurgling were there again, gasping, hoarse, now whistling softly, and again hoarse and loud. It is mad what I do, but I must do something. I prop the dead man up again so that he lies comfortably, although he feels nothing anymore. I close his eyes. They are brown, his hair is black, and a bit curly at the sides. The mouth is full and soft beneath his mustache. The nose is slightly arched. The skin brownish. It is now not so pale as it was before, when he was still alive. For a moment, the face seems almost healthy. Then it collapses suddenly in the strange face of the dead that I have so often seen, strange faces all alike. No doubt his wife still thinks of him. She does not know what happened. He looks as if he would have often written to her. She will still be getting mail from him. Tomorrow, in a week's time, perhaps even a stray letter a month hence. She will read it, and in it he will be speaking to her. My state is getting worse. I can no longer control my thoughts. What would his wife look like? Like the little brunette on the other side of the canal. Does she belong to me now? Perhaps by this act she becomes mine. I wish Cantoric were sitting here beside me. If my mother could see me. The dead man might have had 30 more years of life if only I had impressed the way back to our trench more sharply on my memory. If only he had run 2 yards farther to the left. He might now be sitting in the trench over there and writing a fresh letter to his wife. But I will get no further that way, for that is the fate of all of us. If Kemmerich's leg had been 6 inches to the right, if High Westus had bent his back 3 inches further forward, the silence spreads. I talk and must talk, so I speak to him and say to him, "Comrade, I did not want to kill you. If you jumped in here again, I would not do it, if you would be sensible to. But you were only an idea to me before, an abstraction that lived in my mind and called forth its appropriate response. It was that abstraction I stabbed. But now, for the first time, I see you are a man like me. I thought of your hand grenades, of your bayonet, of your rifle. Now I see your wife and your face and our fellowship. Forgive me, comrade. We always see it too late. Why do they never tell us that you are poor devils like us, that your mothers are just as anxious as ours, and that we have the same fear of death, and the same dying, and the same agony? Forgive me, comrade. How could you be my enemy? If we threw away these rifles and this uniform, you could be my brother, just like Kat and Albert. Take 20 years of my life, comrade, and stand up. Take more, for I do not know what I can even attempt to do with it now. It is quiet. The front is still except for the crackle of the rifle fire. The bullets rain over. They are not fired haphazard, but shrewdly aimed from all sides. I cannot get out. I will write to your wife, I say hastily to the dead man. I will write to her. She must hear it from me. I will tell her everything I have told you. She shall not suffer. I will help her, and your parents too, and your child. His tunic is half open. The pocketbook is easy to find, but I hesitate to open it. In it is the book with his name. So long as I do not know his name, perhaps I may still forget him. Time will obliterate this picture. But his name, it is a nail that I will be hammered into me and never come out again. It has the power to recall this forever. It will always come back and stand before me. Irresolutely, I take the wallet in my hand. It slips out of my hand and falls down. Some pictures and letters drop out. I gather them up and want to put them back again. But the strain I am under, the uncertainty, the hunger, the danger, these hours with the dead man have made me desperate. I want to hasten the relief, to intensify and to end the torture. As one strikes an unendurably painful hand against the trunk of a tree, regardless of everything. These are portraits of a woman and a little girl, small amateur photographs taken against an ivy-clad wall. Along with them are letters. I take them out and try to read them. Most of it I do not understand. It is so hard to decipher, and I scarcely know any French. But each word I translate pierces me like a shot in the chest, like a stab in the chest. My brain is taxed beyond endurance, but I have realized this much, that I will never dare to write to these people as I intended. Impossible. I look at the portraits once more. They are clearly not rich people. I might send them money anonymously if I earn anything later on. I seize upon that. It is at least something to hold on to. This dead man is bound up with my life. Therefore, I must do everything, promise everything in order to save myself. I swear blindly that I mean to live only for his sake and his family. With wet lips, I try to placate him, and deep down in me lies the hope that I may buy myself off in this way and perhaps even get out of this. It is a little stratagem. If only I am allowed to escape, then I will see it. So I open the book and read slowly. Gerard Duval, compositor. With the dead man's pencil, I write the address on an envelope, then swiftly thrust everything back into his tunic. I have killed the printer, Gerard Duval. I must be a printer, I think confusedly. Be a printer. Printer. By afternoon, I am calmer. My fear was groundless. My name troubles me no more. The madness passes. Comrade, I say to the dead man, but I say it calmly. Today, you, tomorrow, me. But if I come out of it, comrade, I will fight against this, and has struck us both down, from you taken life, and from me, life also. I promise you, comrade, I shall never happen again. It shall never happen again. The sun strikes low. I am stupefied with exhaustion and hunger. Yesterday is like a fog to me. There is no hope of ever getting out of this. I fall into a doze and do not at first realize that evening is approaching. The twilight comes. It seems to me to come quickly now. 1 hour more. If it were summer, it would be 3 hours more. 1 hour more. Now, suddenly, I begin to tremble. Something might happen in the interval. I think no more of the dead man. He is of no consequence to me now. With one bound, the lust to live flares up again, and everything that has filled my thoughts goes down before it. Now, merely to avert any ill luck, I babble mechanically. I will fulfill everything I have promised you, but already I know that I shall not do so. Suddenly it occurs to me that my own comrades may fire on me as I creep up. They do not know I am coming. I will call out as soon as I can, so that they will recognize me. I will stay lying in front of the trench until they answer me. The first star, the front remains quiet. I breathe deeply and talk to myself in my excitement. No foolishness now, Paul. Quiet, Paul. Quiet. Then you will be saved, Paul. When I use my Christian name, it works as though someone else spoke it to me. It has more power. The darkness grows. My excitement subsides. I wait cautiously until the first rocket goes up. Then I crawl out of the shell hole. I have forgotten the dead man. Before me lies the oncoming night and the pale gleaming field. I fix my eyes on a shell hole. The moment the light dies, I scurry over it, grope farther, spring into the next, duck down, scramble onward. I come nearer. There, by the light of the rocket, I see something move in the wire. Then it stiffens, and I lie still. Next time, I see it again. Yes, they are men from our trench, but I am suspicious until I recognize our helmets. Then I call, and immediately an answer rings out. My name, Paul, Paul. I call again, in answer. It is Kat and Albert who have come out with a stretcher to look for me. Are you wounded? No. We drop into the trench. I ask for something to eat and wolf it down. Mueller gives me a cigarette. In a few words, I tell what happened. There is nothing new about it. It happens quite often. The night attack is the only unusual feature of the business. In Russia, Kat once lay for 2 days behind the enemy lines before he could make his way back. I do not mention the dead printer, but by next morning I can keep it to myself no longer. I must tell Kat and Albert. They both try to call me. You can't do anything about it. What else could you have done? That is what you are here for. I listen to them and feel comforted, reassured by their presence. It was mere driveling nonsense that I talked out there in the shell hole. Look there, for instance, points Kat. On the fire step stand some snipers. They rest their rifles with telescopic sights on the parapet and watch the enemy front. Once and again, a shot cracks out. Then we hear the cry, "That's found a billet." Did you see how he leaped in the air? Sergeant Orlick turns round proudly and scores his point. He heads the shooting list for today with 3 unquestionable hits. What do you say to that? Asks Kat. I nod. If he keeps that up, he will get a little colored bird for his buttonhole by this evening, says Albert. Or rather, he will soon be made acting sergeant major, says Kat. We look at one another. I would not do it, I say. All the same, says Kat. It's very good for you to see it just now. Sergeant Orridge returns to the fire step. The muzzle of his rifle searches to and fro. You don't need to lose any sleep over your affair, nods Albert. And now I hardly understand it myself anymore. It was only because I had to lie there with him so long. I say, after all, war is war. Orlich's rifle cracks out sharply and dry.